Hi. I told someone that I would do a test on my air conditioners for them using my power meter. I have two air conditioners. One is a 10,000 BTU higher. The other is a 6,000 BTU comfort air, I believe, that's out in the camper. Now the camper does not have power going to it, and unfortunately, I don't know if you can see that. I have a small 100-foot extension cord running clear up to here. Now, here's the orange cord. It's plugged in. I apologize if everything is out of focus. It is really bright out here, and it's hard for me to see through this camera. It's plugged in right there. This is our 10,000 BTU higher. If you can afford to get something different, do it. This higher has a lot of issues, especially with... Let me see if I can get that out. This thing will say dirty, literally, when the lint filter looks like this. And it will just filter clean and it will pop up. And when we purchased it, you can see the fins are just gross. They're bent. They're not straight. Dirt gets up behind this filter from the outside. So if you're looking for an air conditioner for a camper trailer, RV, even your home, avoid this. We paid $200 something at Walmart. Let me see if I can get this on with one hand. It's a pain in the rear end. The whole faceplate has to curve to get it in. And that's not doing it. There we go. I think I got it. Maybe. Alright, I'm not doing this. And of course, that's not in. I'm not doing this to show off the air conditioner. I'm doing this to show off power usage of this air conditioner. I will also show you the power usage of the comfort air that's out in the camper trailer. These are hooked up. Well, right now only one is hooked up to the power meter, and it's hooked up to my solar setup through my girlfriend's 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter. Do not use a modified sine wave inverter if you can, if you can avoid it, because they will hum and buzz constantly. Okay, that's on energy save. I do believe my batteries are a little bit low right now. I've been testing stuff all morning on them, but it is working. So, and it is not grounded. That is a huge issue right there, but it is running. $769 watts. 770. $772. $773, so it is climbing. This only says 58.6 volts. Alright, this is obviously a 12 volt system. So if it's pulling 60 volts, it's pulling a lot of power. Okay? And right here's the volts. Down here, there's a bar on there. Down here's the volts I believe that it's pulling. So basically it's pulling 60 volts out of my batteries. 11.6 amps I believe. That may be 17 amps. 16.64 amps. So this air conditioner is pulling a huge amount of power. $780 watts. Alright, let me set this down. We know how much power is pulling, and it's climbing a little bit higher. 59.2 volts. That is a huge amount of power pulling through this. 16.48 amps. Alright. Now my inverter will of course carry this without an issue. Then it just dropped down to 6.6 amps. This does not have a soft start on it. If you're going to try to run an air conditioner, install some type of soft start, and it will actually help your air conditioner. And it's blowing ice cold. I mean, it's actually working better than it does right now than if it was plugged into the wall. Alright, once it kicked on, it builds up enough power to get it to kick correctly. It's running without an issue. It should not be pulling that many amps and watts. Once again, if you're going to use an air conditioner, try your best to have a soft start setup on your air conditioner. If you can't afford it, get a larger inverter. And I can't really make out what the top is saying. 7.68, 7.7 amps. So it is constantly climbing. $899 watts was the highest I saw that. 899 watts. $120.8 volts, 7.72 amps. Alright. And the amps are climbing a little bit higher. This should stop around 7.5, maybe 7.6, I believe. If not a little bit lower. Alright, I believe it got to 7.73, and then it went back down. So it's staying around 7.71 to 7.73, dropping a little bit on the amps. Once it started, it's running without an issue. But 97 watts. This hit 900 watts. Now remember, I only have 400 watts of solar hooked up out here. 903, 4. So around 903 and 904 watts. Now remember, this is once it started. 120.4 volts. Alright, let's turn this off and I'll hook up the other one. Oh, that's definitely cold. That is nice. That is really nice. Alright. Here's the plug that goes out there. Oh crud, this has already been running for 8 minutes. I may have to splice 2 videos together. If I do, I apologize. Let me reset this meter. Alright, I'm not sure if the air conditioner is actually on out there or not. Let's put this on watts. And let's see. Yep, it's absolutely on. Now this is a, sorry about that, 6,000 BTU comfort air. Oh, definitely putting out cold air. It is on high, all the way up, max. Oh, that's why it came on when I plugged it in. It's on. Okay. Now, you can see the cord down, up. Right here, it's plugged in. Alright, let's go get your power rating. I hope this camera doesn't shut off on me. The batteries are like dead again. I swear I replace these batteries every time I use this damn thing. These are chargeable batteries. They don't last that long. $507 watts. I believe that's volts. I believe that's amps. Unfortunately, I can't tell what that is through out here with the sun. So it looks like it's holding steady around 512 watts, 513. Let's go up 2 volts, 121.8 volts. Let's kick to amps, 4.25 amps. Alright, so this is 4.5, basically 5 amps, it looks like. It's holding around 4.26 amps, 4.27, 4.28. If this restarts, I do apologize. This should hold steady around 4.5 to 5 amps. Looks like 4.3 amps. It's maxing out on 4.3. $522 watts. Alright, it's going up 523, 524, 525, 526. Seems to be holding around 526, 527. Now, if you're going to get one of these meters, actually get a real kilowatt meter. This thing takes a second to actually catch up. So, if you're going to use one of these meters, give it time, because this one actually does take a little bit to catch up with the power usage. Now, if you want to run a air conditioner, I do recommend, highly recommend, one of these. This is actually a pure sine wave inverter. This is 1500 watts. The price was around $160, $170, and I did replace the cables with larger cables, which you always do. Now, running this air conditioner, I'm using a really small extension cord, which could actually add up a little bit extra power usage. Trying to push through this little bitty cord if I can even find it. So if you're going to run something off an extension cord, make sure it's heavy enough. Alright, it's 531 watts. 532. Like I said, this takes a minute to catch up. And look at me, I'm sweating my butt off out here. 534. And this has already been going for like 15 minutes, and I guarantee this camera will shut off on me. Because it's down to 1 bar, and I just put new batteries in it before I started. I hate rechargeables. They don't work with a shit. Don't let somebody lie and say they do. Alright, it seems to be holding steady at 537 watts. 538. I'm sorry, every time I say it's holding steady, it jumps. I believe the compressor may be kicking on out there. Maybe 554 watts, something like that. It should top out at. 540, and now it's dropping. Okay. So around 540 watts. 121.4 volts, 121.4, 4.46 amps. Alright, let's go shut this off. Unhook this, lock the trailer up. And if you're going to run an air conditioner, especially long distances, do not use a cord like this. I mean, the little bitty cord is not nearly heavy enough, big enough to carry this kind of load. Now this is the old air conditioner that was left in this camper. I don't know how good the air conditioner actually is. You got a visitor. Little spider. We have these spiders everywhere. I guarantee this thing is pretty old, but it's still running. And for something this size, the 6,000 BTU should be plenty. Alright, let me set this camera down. Because I don't leave my door unlocked. And there's the shower. Alright, I just tested 2 air conditioners. One a Comfort Air 6,000 BTU and the higher 10,000 BTU. If you have to buy a higher and you're going to run it off of something like this, I would avoid it like the plague. You saw the power usage it took to even start this, the higher. Now, my small 1100 watt inverter sometimes will actually run that higher. It depends on how hot it is outside. It really does. It's like 100 degrees outside right now, 101, whatever it is. I live in Missoula, Montana, and it is really hot right now. I'm sweating my butt off. But you saw the 6,000 BTU. If you can get away with it, use a 6,000 BTU or smaller. And damn it, this camera started over. Okay, wonderful. These meters only go up to 15 amps. So anything above 15 amps, you can hang it up. Turn that off. Let it cool down. And let's get midnight. Midnight. Don't get dirty. And of course, there would have to be a damn plane up there somewhere. So, you saw both my air conditioners. Now, while bugs coming in the house, while my 1100 watt power bright inverter will run this, it really should be grounded. It does take an external ground, while the pure sine wave inverter really doesn't need an external ground. So consider that too if you're buying an inverter. I'm not sure if a 1,000 watt inverter would actually handle this higher. Now this higher is a 10,000 BTU, but you saw the power that it was taking to run this. At least I hope you did, because I restarted this video like 5 times because the camera shut down, and unfortunately it did it again. I was going to try to squeeze everything into just a short video, but that didn't work. Anyway, avoid hires if you can. We have not had this air conditioner for a couple years, I believe. It's on one of my videos. When we purchased this, we have had nothing but problems out of this air conditioner. And it was $200 something, I believe, at Walmart. And the bad thing is, this works worse than the 5,000 BTU Frigidaire we gave away when we bought the higher. So you do know it is absolutely plugged in to the extension cord. As far as power inverters go, try to get a pure sine wave. If you're going to get one of these little meters, remember this thing takes a while to actually catch up, which, you know, it says 0.5 load range to 1,875 watts. But it takes so long to catch up with the power that if you can afford it, just buy a kilowatt meter, just a plain kilowatt meter, because these absolutely are not the best. I'm not saying they don't work, they're just not the best. Okay? And remember, if you're wanting to run the air conditioner off solar, more batteries. Literally, more batteries, heavier cables. I have 2-gauge welder's wire for my cables. I'm always saying 2 100-watt solar panels per battery if you're using lead acid. Now remember, lead acid only charges a certain rate, just like any other battery. But these panels only put out anywhere from 5 to 7 amps. Depends on the solar panels you get. So that's 2 panels at 5 amps is only 10 amps. I'm not worried about watts. I'm worried about the amps going back into the battery. So 2 of these panels right here is basically 11 amps going into the battery. So 2 100-watt panels for every battery. Have as many batteries as you can possibly have to run something heavy like an air conditioner that will stay on for long periods of time. Now, we have ran the Frigidaire that we had on low for up to 6 hours on my 2 Walmart dual cycle marine dual cycle batteries, okay, in the middle of summer when the sun was absolutely shining on the panels. And it did draw my battery down quite a bit. So just take into account, if we would have thrown on an extra battery, it would have handled it much, much better. Just take that into account when using solar or trying to run an air conditioner off solar. Now, I just tested 2 air conditioners for you. The higher, massive power surge at startup. There's no telling why. I mean, it's just a piece of crap. The Comfort Air had no power surge whatsoever at startup, and you could see it steadily climbing, but it leveled out. This actually, once it started, it dropped quite a bit, but it's still what, almost 1,000 watts to run this, compared to 500 something watts, I believe, to run the 6,000 BTU. All air conditioners are made different. They have different power requirements. So, a question is, can I run an air conditioner off of solar? Is a trick question, because all air conditioners use different power requirements. If you find one with a low power requirement, it's much better. But if you get one with a high power requirement like this higher, then the more batteries and more solar you're going to need to run it. Take that into account when you're looking for an air conditioner. Alright, anyway, if you can afford one, get one of these. Do not get one of those cheap modified sine wave inverters. Get a pure sine wave inverter. I understand this thing's 160, 170 bucks, if not more now, for 1,500 watts. But it is so, so worth it. Alright, I'm fixing to go. I hope this answers the question. Can you run an air conditioner, or how much power does it take to run an AC on solar? Alright, that's it. I'm fixing to go. Everybody have a good day. Bye.